Hello, everyone. Welcome to DBC Inc. Live. I'm Tara Martin. I'll be hosting tonight. Dave is traveling, and we decided not to do a webinar this evening. We will have a new webinar next week. So I just thought I would just jump on here, probably be a pretty short show tonight with only me. But as you are joining in, please do tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. Let us know if you're starting school yet or if you are still have some summer break left. That is so exciting. It has just been a doozy of a day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm grateful that I'm alive, that I'm healthy. But man, it's been a day. Just a really tough day for, I know most of you know that I am very much into the CrossFit community, and we had one of our athletes pass away on the first event of the CrossFit Games today. So that was just a really sad thing for the whole community. And my heart goes out to his family and the friends and the other competitors. It's just heartbreaking, but yeah, but we have school starting in a lot of places around, and I thought we would just talk a little bit about the beginning of school and see what you guys are doing. Maybe your favorite beginning of a school activity, if you want to share some of it in the comment section, that's always great. I was going to share a few of my favorites. I pulled them up here on my website. But do let me know if anyone is even in here because I am just not seeing a lot of names over here popping up. There's David. Okay. So we're at least live. Like people can see us. Thanks, David. It's good to see you. I wasn't seeing a little number pop up on my side at all. So I was like, oh, great. I might just be in here by myself tonight. Super excited though for so many of us joining, going back to school. I've done a few back to school convocations. So exciting to just see all the teachers getting ready and getting excited about the students coming in, teachers, principals, professional development, all the things are happening. Dave has been traveling nonstop, I think for 11 days. He is killing it out there. So I thought I was just gonna pull up some of the back to school ideas that I have in my little toolkit on my website. And I think I'll just share my entire screen with you guys. I think it'll work. I'm gonna present and make sure. Share screen. Entire screen. Oh, that's a nightmare. Maybe we should share a window. I feel like sharing my entire screen looks a little scary. Let me see if I can figure out how to share just the window. Okay, so one of my favorite activities, I'm just going to do entire screen. I'm sorry, you guys are going to see a little bit of a mess here, but just for a moment, let's see. No, that's not going to work. Man, it stinks when you're live and you're like, I'm going to try this out. But David, it looks like it's just me and you in here. So we can do whatever we want. That's what I say. Let's try this one more time. Share screen, window, Chrome tab. There we go. All right. I think we got it now. Perfect. Okay, so these are the Free Your Mind activities. These are the ones I talk about a whole lot in my Free Your Mind workshop, which is where I think that we need to spend a little bit more time, like giving students a moment to take some of the things that are inside their head out so we can put content in. But at the very beginning of a school year, one of my favorite activities, it's also one that I use later throughout the school year, but it's the ups and downs T-chart. I think we've talked about this a little bit before in this live show, but I have it on my website, tarammartin.com. I'm going to put this over in the comment section. If you look in the resource section, you can find it under free your mind activities. But the ups and down T chart is so easy. So any student, so I'll show you how to scale it. So if you have students that can write things down, I mean, say second grade on, third grade for sure and up, this works really well. They can fill it out themselves. I walk through it and show them an example of how it works for me. But one of the things I love is just on the left-hand side, we're going to write down things that lift us up. We're just going to think of everything we can. And a lot of times children get a little hard about, have a little tough time about thinking about things that make them happy. I don't know why. The littler kids can think of them really easy. The older kids are like, I don't know what makes me happy. So I tell them to go over to the other side, the right side of the T chart, and write things down that tend to bring them down. And it's very important to me that they list out both things that lift them up and things that bring them down. I have been confronted before in a workshop where they said, why would you list the things that bring you down? Why would you even focus on the negative? We're not really focusing on the negative. What we're doing is we're putting everything on paper so that this ups and downs T chart can land somewhere that students can one day refer to it. So if I notice a student having a really rough day, third week of school, I'm like, hey, let's pull out your ups and downs T chart. Like I could go confront them, sit beside them. They pull it out of their folder. I've already made a copy of it from this first round of it. So I already have my own copy. So I know also what makes each student feel lifted up and brought down. And so when we look at their T chart, I can ask them, are there things on the things that bring you down? Are some of these things in place right now? And that is why you're feeling disappointed? Because a lot of times I think as teachers, we take it very personally. We think that the student is upset with us. That is something that we did, right? It's just their approach is they get frustrated and they take it out on us and we think it has to do with us. But a lot of times it's something that is on this chart that is bringing them down. Maybe they didn't make the team. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Some of the things on mind that bring me down, I think I actually have an example in here of my own. Nope, I don't. Oh, no, I don't have my example in here, but I have one in my journal, and things that bring me down or can be like too many emails or not enough time to socialize or not enough time to spend with my dog or, I'm not getting my fitness in the morning. There are certain things that if they aren't happening in my life, I feel down. And that is the same for our students. So one of the things, Monica, I know you teach the younger babies. I totally think this would work for them because you could do it. Yes, today kinders could tell me ASAP what they liked about their first day. I love it. But I think this would work. The ups and downs T chart works for the youngers when I do this as an anchor chart, as a whole class. We kind of do it together. Like, what things bring us up in this classroom community? And what things bring us down? And I love when things are not going well in class. I can flip back to that T chart on the anchor chart and say, okay, are there some of these things that are in place right now that are just kind of making us feel not so great? And then I immediately say, okay, how can we start putting the things that bring us up back in place? We need to take the things that bring us down and remove them and start putting the things that bring us up back in place. So for me, I sometimes start with the things that bring me down and go over to the right-hand side and do the opposite. If not working out brings me down, then that means working out brings me up, and just kind of working it that way and helping students to understand. And you might choose to do this as a class first and then let each one do one individually. I love if they would let me take a copy of all of their ups and downs T chart for myself, and then also give it their copy back to them so they can have it to refer back to. This is just such a great way to help students to regulate their own emotions and start to understand, we can get really ugly with each other sometimes. And it's not necessarily because everything's falling apart. It's just because we've allowed too many things to fill up our mind that don't make us feel good inside. They don't release endorphins and dopamine and the things that help us feel good about ourselves. And we just need to take some time and balance things out a bit. We need to put some more of those things back in. And sometimes people will say, well, I don't have time to work out anymore. Well, what can we do differently? Can you take a walk on your break? Can you, and just helping them to problem solve and figure out ways to get some of these things that lift them up back in place. So, ups and downs teacher, I love it for helping to build a classroom community, either as a group, but also just being able to learn a whole lot about your students in just a short amount of time. Give them 5 to 10 minutes to fill this out and collect them. You will be surprised what you will learn about each and every one of your students really quick. It's almost as if you are getting a free peek into the mind and emotions of your students in that first week or that first day, kind of learning a little bit about what they love and what really bothers them, what makes them feel uncomfortable. A lot of students will write to things that bring them down as like if they feel singled out, and they'll make comments like that, which lets me know as a teacher, they don't want to answer out loud. They probably don't want to answer out loud. Asking them, how would you like to respond? What makes you feel comfortable for responding in class? And making sure that I am doing things that also lift them up in my actions as a teacher and as their mentor. So, ups and downs teacher, really love this one. Another one that I think would be so fun, and I'm going to pull it up right now. It is a 15 ways to shuffle the deck and deal out real engagement. It's a blog post that I made for using a deck of cards. And I think it's just so fun because there's so many ways you can use a deck of cards. But one of my favorite things to do with a deck of cards is to get each kid in group. And it's a great little brain break to teach in the first week of school, just kind of getting them moving around. And man, I want to go get my cards, but there's nobody to fill in for me. It's okay. So each group gets 4 cards. I'm going to go grab them. I'll be right back. This is live. I feel like a real deck of cards just makes it way more fun. Thanks for waiting for me. We just keep it real on here when Dave isn't here, right? He's going to watch this on the playback and be like, what in the world, this girl? So I have a brand new deck of cards, so this should be fun. But I deal out 4-ish cards per group. So each group gets a deck of cards. And what they have to do is on a slide, I share with them what each card means. So for example, the hearts might mean we're going to do arm circles. The diamonds could be we're going to do lunges with our backpack on our back, or maybe you don't even have a weight, but you're just going to do some sort of other movement. One of the best movements, if we've been doing a lot of typing or a lot of computer work, is this wrist stretch where you just kind of do like this. But have them stand up for all of the stretchy deck. So each group, if I have my students in groups of 4 or 5, they're going to get 4 cards. So they might get a face card. They might get a 4 of spades, and say they get a hearts, 8 of hearts, and say they get a 3 of diamonds. And each suit is a certain stretch. So hearts can be arm circles. Diamonds could be lunges. Clubs can be, you can make up any kind of stretch. They could be the wrist stretch that we talked about. And let's say spades is going to be IYT, just a way to move your arms up, down, and back. What I try to do is keep in mind, especially when I'm working with high school students, which by the way, this brain break works really good for high school students. I try really hard to not do anything that's going to cause students to not feel like they can participate. So I know that a lot of girls will wear dresses. So I try not to do a lot of things where they're having to bend over or anything like that. A lot of arm kind of stretching up and moving around. But when every group has their 4 sets of cards, they're going to lay them down on the floor and somebody's going to emerge as the leader. And we have to do the number and then the suit, whatever the stretch was. So if this one was arm circles, I'm doing 4 arm circles. The jacks always equal 10. So if this one was lunges, we're doing 10 lunges. And then, if this one is the wrist stretch, we're going to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 together. And then say this one was the IYT, that's 1. We're going to do 3 of those. And once everyone has done all the numbers for the stretches, then they get to sit down. So that's just a really cool way to do a quick brain break. And then once you teach it that first couple weeks of school, if we start to need some time to move around, I can change it. I can change the stretches and I can pass out the deck of cards. I have this really huge deck of cards from Amazon that each card is like as big as a book. And I love those because they're really easy to place on the floor. We can do the stretches. We can move in a place where we can move our arms and then they go and sit back down. It takes about 5 minutes. But there's so many ways to use the cards. And I have them here on this blog. I'm going to try to make them a little bit bigger. But you can do like team formation where you have students draw cards to form groups or pairs for activities. Maybe you do discussion starter. You assign a specific question or topics to different card values when you want to have a class discussion. Or math challenges. I love this one. For instance, students can draw 2 cards and multiply them, or draw 3 cards and add or subtract them if you're working with younger students. You can do math magic. I love this one where you assign operations to the suit. So like hearts is addition, diamonds is subtraction, clubs, multiplication, spades, division. And you have the students draw cards and create equations to solve. And they can have their partner solve the equation. That's so fun too. Geography trivia. This one's also fun where students draw cards and answer geography related questions about the region on their drawn cards. So they assign continents or countries to each suit, and then they draw cards and answer geography related questions about those regions. I love this one, the creative story building one. You assign a plot elements to each suit. So beginning, conflict, climax, or resolution. And you have the students draw cards and collaborate to build a creative story following the assigned structure. So there are 15 different ones on this blog. I don't want to read the entire blog to you because I'm sure that's kind of boring. For our younger kiddos, place value battle is a lot of fun with cards where single digits, and you only use the single digit cards and you place them on a place value mat to create the largest number based off of the cards that they draw. But yeah, there are so many cool ways to use cards. If you have some other fun ways that you like to use them, I would love for you to share them over in the comments section. But these are just a few fun things you could easily do in the first week of school. Maybe not all of these card ideas will work in the first week of school, but the stretchy deck for sure would. Sometimes assigning partners, assigning teams, assigning groups in the first week, just to like get them interacting with other people that they may have not ever met. That would be so fun. So anyways, I just wanted to jump on here and share something. We've canceled Thursday Night Live the past couple of weeks because we have been both traveling at the same time. So this time I was home and I thought, well, I want to do something and jump on there. Also, if you have not, and it's not like a shameless plug, but if you haven't read Cannonball In to your students on the first few weeks of school, it's a great book. Not because I wrote it, but the message is so great for getting kids excited about trying something new. And beginning a new school year is so hard sometimes. So getting them excited about understanding that with something new, with cannonballing in, there's fear and there's courage. Like it takes all these emotions to like try something new, learn to read, maybe climb the monkey bars. Maybe it's just a little task that they've always try out for the basketball team. Whatever it is, it really doesn't matter what age. This book can relate to so many people with a heartbeat, really everyone. And one thing I love so much about it is it doesn't just talk about taking the risk, but it also deals with the dabblers, which are the critics that are standing on the sideline and they're not really jumping. They're just judging all the jumpers and they are just making people feel stupid for trying something new. And I love talking about this at the beginning of the school year because when they start feeling like something is off, you'll see them. Even if I read this first and then we do the T chart, then one of the things that brings them down are dabblers. They put them over there. Dabblers bring me down. Well, they bring me down too. And when we find ourselves paying too much attention to the criticism of the dabblers, we can stop doing that thing that we enjoy or that brings us up, that lifts us up. And I love referring back to this book, even when I'm talking about the T chart, but when I'm just talking about anything and taking a risk and trying something new, because you have to get over that inner fear. You also have to get over that fear of the critics. And you have to understand that you were born to jump. Like in the book, the dad tells the little girl, Olivia, you were not born to sit on the sidelines and watch the jumpers. You were born to jump. And I love reminding my students, no matter what their ages are, that you were born to jump. You were born to do great things. You were born to learn to read and to try all these cool new things at school and to be successful and to do that thing that brings you joy. So don't let the critics, your inner critic or the dabblers, stop you from doing that wonderful thing. And I also love the end of the book where it comes full circle and these little kids swim up on the shallow end and they tell the little girl, Olivia, that was the best splash ever. And she couldn't believe her ears. Like, really, are you kidding? My splash, the best splash ever? And they had the same fears as her. And I remind our students that when you take a risk and you try something new and you put yourself out there, other people are looking on and thinking, wow, that's amazing. Like if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. And so I remind them, remember, there are the little kids in the shallow end that are looking at you. And your splash may not have been as big as some of those big guys, but it was the best ever to them because it's something that made them feel like they could relate to that success and they wanted to try it too. So Cannonball In has some lesson plans on my website. I was going to show you those as well. But if you go to books and Cannonball In and you pull up the resources and then you pull up Cannonball In lesson plans, from there, you can see all of the lesson plans down here below. You just click these PDFs and they will print for you. And inside of those PDFs are clickable links and downloadables that you can use for the book if you decide to use it at the first few weeks of school. So there's a few things. They're all on my website. So if you need any help, hey, awesome. Hey, if you want me to come in and read for your kiddos, let me know. Or you want me to come in and answer questions? I love zooming in and talking about the message from this book and how it can apply to our lives at all ages. So do hit me up. Just email me, tarammartin.real@gmail.com, or you can just hit me up on one of the DMs in any of my social medias. But I'm so glad for all of you that joined us tonight. I know we didn't have a very big crowd. I didn't even really promote it. I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging again. I feel like August is a month where we are going to be traveling so much. Dave and I are in and out. So I think next Thursday we will both be available though. And we do have a webinar from one of our new authors, Lauren Kaufman. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be amazing. And we have a couple of really amazing books coming out really, really soon. So keep your eyes peeled to all the social medias, Dave Burgess Consulting. We would love for you to check out these books and let us know what you think about them. But if you have any questions about any of these activities that I shared tonight, let me know. But they're all on my website, tarammartin.com. Go to resources. You can find all kinds of things, but these are particularly in the teacher's resources. So I hope you guys have an absolutely lovely night. And I hope you get some good rest if you have school tomorrow. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll see you next week for a webinar. So you'll have to sign up for that. But be sure and open your Sunday 7. Subscribe to daveburgessconsulting.com if you're not already. And get signed up for that webinar. It'll start promoting on Sunday. So we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.